We'll wait for 2 minutes, then we'll start the class. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to today's class, chapter 13, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Okay. We pay our humble obeisance to Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. We seek our blessings from Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. We'll start with the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yen Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagar Raghunatam Vrativam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamsha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छ कल्पतरुभक्ष कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्ता वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. All glories to Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and Temple President, His Grace Namonita Das Prabhuji. We seek their blessings. Today's chapter is chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. We will know the knowledge, of the nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. Right, so we will discuss on six topics today. Basically, the Arjuna sixth question. He will ask six question in the beginning of this chapter, and then he will then Krishna will describe right away, the Kshetra, Kshetragna, and Jnanam. Then the what is Jnanam? What is the process of acquiring the knowledge? It will be taught in the third part. And what is Gayam? That what is the object of knowledge? And what is Prakriti, Purusha, and their union? And then the Gyan Chakshu vision of knowledge will be opened up. So here are the basically the six questions, that will be asked in the beginning. What are these six questions? These are the Prakriti. What is Prakriti? What is Purusha? What is Kshetra? What is Kshetagna? What is Jnanam or knowledge? Or what is Gyam? That is goal of knowledge. So Prakriti we all know is material nature. Purusha is the enjoyer of Prakriti, right? Purusha is the enjoyer of Prakriti, right? The ultimate Purusha. There is only one. Krishna is the Purusha, right? The philosophy here basically is, trying to tell that Prakriti, we are all Prakriti, right? We are having male and female body, but the philosophy says that we are not the Purusha, right? We are not the Purush Tattva, is only Krishna. There can be only one Purusha, that is Krishna. All the male and female are all, Prakriti only. So one needs to, know his actual nature, that we are the Prakriti. We are not the Purusha, right? We are not the Purusha. We are not the, male, female. We are all Prakriti. Purusha is only one, that is Krishna. So third will be the Kshetra. What is Kshetra? Body, Shariram, right? That we, there is this body. We have the gross body, we have the subtle body. Then in that there is soul, right? This is the consisting of the body. So Kshetragna, observer in the body. What is observer? The soul that is in the inside the Kshetra is the soul. Observer in the body is the soul, super soul, right? There are two persons or two parts who are knowing the Kshetra, yeah, Kshetragna. So observe in the body, there are two, right? It's similar to two birds sitting on a tree, right? That there is one, one is bird soul and another bird is the super soul. The knower of all bodies. But the soul knows only one Kshetra, right? Only one his own body. But so super soul is, connected to all the bodies, knower in all bodies. Jnanam, what is knowledge, understanding Kshetra and Kshetragna, the difference between the body and the soul and the super soul, understanding that knowledge is the knowledge, right? Gayam, goal of the knowledge, what we have put in Paramatma. The goal of the knowledge, Gayam, is Paramatma. So we start with the 13 1 2. Arjuna said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, Kshetra, Kshetragna, and the end of knowledge, Jnanam, and the end of knowledge, Niyam." The blessed Lord then said, "This body, O son of Kunti, this body of son of Kunti is called the field, right? The body is Kshetra, it is called the field, right? The gross body and the subtle body. The gross body is made up of Panchamahabhuta, right? Can anyone tell what is Panchamahabhutas? Hare Krishna.
Air, water, fire, ether, earth.
Yes, Mati. Hari bol, Mati. Hari bol. So earth, air, fire, water, and ether, right? So these are the five elements, right? Five elements, the Panch Mahabhuta, right? And the subtle elements, Hare Krishna. Anyone can tell subtle elements? What are the subtle elements? Hare Krishna. The gross elements are the Panch Mahabhuta. Then the three subtle elements, what are those?
One is false ego.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you repeat again, Mataji?
False ego.
Yes, Mataji. False ego and other two?
I forgot.
Mind, intelligence, and false ego, Mataji. Hari bol, Mataji. So mind, intelligence, and false ego. These are the three things, right? There is the gross body and the subtle body, right? These are all the body part. The kshetra is there, and one is there the soul, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. That is the soul, right? The soul and the super soul both know that body. Super soul just know all the bodies. The soul knows only his body. So we will know here the difference. What is the difference between the soul and super soul? Soul knows only own body, right? Super soul knows all the bodies. Who is the owner and controller, right? And for the super soul, supreme is the owner and controller of the body, right? Soul is secondary, right? For the soul, owner and controller, it is the secondary control, right? Super soul's position, right? Infallible, always superior to soul, right? It is infallible because it is supreme, right? It is Shirodaksha Vishnu, right? So always it's infallible, always superior to soul, and the soul is fallible and because it is subordinate, right? because we cannot, we are not the Ubdashtanu Mantacha, right? Because super soul is the permitter and the overseer. We'll see that in this chapter. The soul and the super soul, living entities are known as Jivatma, right? Living entities are known as Jivatma, and the super soul, God is the maintained known as Paramatma. The difference is we are Anu Atma, super soul, Vibhu Atma. So we are infinitely small Anu Atma, 1 by 10,000 part of the size of the tip of the hair. Right? Vibhu Atma is infinite, the super soul. So the soul is individual knower, right? Cognizant of one's own body, right? Super soul is for cognizant of everyone and everything. He knows everything, right? Because by the single fragment, the Shiroga action which by the single fragment, whole universe, whole universe is, whole material universe is being carried out. The soul is secondary proprietor for one body. Analogy, citizen as the proprietor of one land, right? Prabhupada gives this analogy that king, king is the proprietor of all the lands, right? Citizens are proprietor of one land. So, by that analogy, you can see. So soul is the secondary controller of the senses, right? Citizens are secondary controller of activities, right? King is the original controller, right? So Lord is the supreme controller of the senses. That's why he is known as Rishikesha. So if we want to control our senses, can we control through our soul? No. We have to control through the supreme controller. We have to ask the mercy of him. The soul is fallible and the super soul is infallible, right? A loving servitor. Soul is a loving servitor, subordinate. The super soul is eternally a loving master, right? We are a loving servitor of the super soul, the supreme, right? And the super soul is eternally a loving master. He is superior. Now, soul is innumerable living entities, right? Innumerable entities are there. Though super soul is in the heart of every living entity and within every atom, still there is only one super soul, right? So it is inconceivable, right? It is, the small fragment, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, is being present in every element, every atom, every microbes, right? Even if you drink water, you kill lots of microbes. Every atom in that H2O atom or hydrogen atom, everything is having the super soul. So the super soul, the Jnanam, what is Jnanam? One who knows the knowledge or difference between the body, soul, and super soul. That is the Jnanam, right? 13.3. क्षेत्रज्ञं चपि मां विधि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञो ज्ञानं यत्तत् ज्ञानं मतं मम. O sign of Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge, right? He's saying that he is knower of all the in all the bodies, and to understand this body and its owner, right? Its body and owner is, it is that is the knowledge, right? We need to know that whom this body belongs to, and who is the owner of this body, actual owner of the body, right? That is my opinion. He is saying this is knowledge, right? The three states of consciousness is depicted, right? There are three states of consciousness here, right? One first picture you can see there is awake, right? One is awake. So then also when the soul is there, super soul is there, and sleeping when one is dreaming and deep sleep, right? Then also the soul is there, super soul is there. Always soul is always there, and super soul is always the sakshi of it. In all states, the jiva and the paramatma are awake, but the soul is turned away from the soul and is unaware of his presence. The soul is thinking he is alone, right? The soul is thinking he is alone, he is not listening to the Paramatma, the super consciousness, right? He is only, thinking that he is the body. The soul is thinking like that. And then he is only the body. So he is always, in dreaming or awake or sleep, all the three stages, the soul is thinking, the super soul is not there. But super soul is always present, always present, always permitting, always, sanctioning, whatever desires are to know, so that you can experience it. Because sometimes what happens, a child is, because child is sometimes saying that, okay, give me that chocolate. The mother will tell that this chocolate is not good for you. It will, the cavities will happen, germs will be there, lot of things will be there. It is not good for, but still it is crying. So what the mother will, okay, take it, right? Then have the result of it, right? You take the result of it also, right? Because everything that is being because of us only. It's not because of the Lord, because we have the desires to do that, right? So there is a fourth state, Thuriya state, when one is aware of the Lord or the Paramatma always, right? That is the good state. Right? A person, the state of Thuriya is always working for the pleasure of the Lord, because he knows that Lord is always watching me. Lord is always watching. So what pleases the Lord, that has to be done. That has to be done. Not the thing that, it's not. It is for self gratification, right? The whatever pleases the Lord, that has to be done, right? The Krishna tells in the previous chapter, in the 8th shloka, that who is dear to him, right? Who is dear to him? If the soul knows that what has to be done, because the Paramatma is always watching. It's not like that one has done some thieving activity and not gone to jail, or some has, killed someone and not gone to jail, then he will not have the reaction out of it. The reaction will be there, right? The Paramatma is there. He takes the right time, right place to give that, reaction, right? Because he gives time also to, to have some prashit, to realize the mistake, he gives that time. A person, the state of Turiya, is always working for the pleasure of the Lord, knowing his original position always, right? So what are the different stages of consciousness? First is the stage of, anyone can say that what consciousness, one is there. Hare Krishna. What do you think that consciousness is there? Because we are not the body trying to realize the spiritual things, right? It is not like that. One has to be spiritually. It's our natural sense to be spiritual. We are spiritual beings having the body. We are not the we are not the body and trying to do something. Spirituality is our natural thing. We are the already spiritual beings only, right? Because we are the soul. So spiritual beings are covered by the body. So we have to think like that, right? The thing is that that's our natural thing, right? So first part is conscious not rooted anywhere, right? So sushupti is there at the soul part, and the gross body is there. Conscious routed through gross material body to the world. Jagruti stage. And Swapna stage, conscious routed till the subtle material realm, right? Subtle material is the three elements, mind, intelligence, and ego, right? And at the soul part, the conscious not routed anywhere, so Shupti, right? And then the conscious routed to the spiritual realm is Turiya, right? So our aim is basically to reach this Turiya stage. That knowledge of the field of activities and the knower of the activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is specially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect. Right? What is the cause? What is the effect? All the Vedic writings it is given. So there are basically various stages of consciousness, right? We will see that 5 stages. Now, first is the Annamaya stages. What happens at the Annamaya stage? It is the very when someone is born, what happen, it is trying to always eat, right? Always trying to eat, because that is the annamaya state, always trying to gather the energy. And taking that, food is everything, food is everything, because at the at the child, at the when child is born, everything it tries to eat. So that is the consciousness of annamaya state. I am just giving the example that who you can describe that which stage of life a person is, right? Early stage of life he is in. If someone is too much eating, that is only annamaya stage. That is not a very, very spiritual stage. Too much, into eating and all that voracious eating is being done. So that is the annamaya stage only trying to gather energy, right? Then comes, you become better. Then comes the pranamaya stage. Pranamaya stage is the energy state. Then basically mode of passion. A child grows, becomes a little older, 5 6 age, till 15 years of age, the pranamaya stage is active. That's why in that, in the Vedic times, what used to happen, till 15 years of age, that from the 5 till 15 years of age, a child was used to, used to give him the lot of shlokas to learn the shlokas, because you lot of energy. You don't have you don't have that that maya or that consciousness to contemplate on it, to understand things, right? So lot of shlokas are given. The child used to read it. Rote learning used to happen, it's first, because at that stage pranamaya stage is very active. It is, they are very active, they are very energetic. Lot of energy is there, so everything should be gone in pranamaya. So lot of learning habit. If you, because if we teach some shloka, 2 3 shlokas to the children, they immediately grasp it and try, start reciting it. So it's very easy for them. So that is the pranamaya state. Then comes the jnanamaya state, manomaya state. This is the mode of something, trying to cultivate some knowledge, not knowledge of the spirituality, but knowledge of the material world. If someone is a good scientist, someone is good administration skills, whatever management is there, or some skills. So bending the iron is the skill, right? Like that kind of stuff. The jnanamaya state, manomaya is. is said then. Then comes, if someone gets above that, because what happens, Jnanamaya state, why one wants to acquire? To get happy, right? To get happy, everyone wants to acquire, to, because with that knowledge, one will earn something, then, but the material happiness will come. But at the last, after, there is a story in Maharashtra, Prabhuji always tell that, someone is, relaxing at the beach and he is having, coconut water, right? So one comes that, why are you relaxing? You are a young person. Why are you relaxing? So he says, why can't I relax? So he says, okay, go, there is a beach, there is this fish, earn something, go there, go and earn something, right? Well, then what will happen? Then he said, then you will, have a house. Then what will happen? Then you will have a wife. What will happen? Then you will have some children, you will earn something, ultimately you will have, and then happy. Then what will happen? Then you can go to the beach and relax, right? So he says that, okay, that's what I'm doing right now, right? So basically, you want the peace ultimately. So what is the ultimately, at the material end, what is there? The Vigyan Maya is cultivation of spiritual knowledge. We are not the body, we are the soul. This is the Vigyan Maya, right? Then comes the Anand Maya. The complete blissfulness is there if you realize, one realizes the supreme personality of Godhead, right? So Paramatma relation is there. So this is the level of consciousness. One can, you can see that which consciousness one is in, right? So the human beings are of 4 lakh species, right? Human beings, they are self are the 4 lakh species, right? Then you will say how humans are, we cannot see them yet. You can see the, ethnics, various ethnics are there, right? Africans are there, Americans are there, where huge differences between the, how the human is, made at various, various places. And there are various levels of consciousness in that the each having the different consciousness. So 4 lakh species are there based on how the aware is the person is. The first two Annamaya, food conscious, the Pranamaya need to stay alive, are present in animals too. This Pranamaya and Maya is the, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is present in the animals too, right? The third one is Manomaya begins to become more strong in human beings, right? The Vijnana Maya intelligence stage is only when the human being understands we are not the body, right? We are started at the stage of, Vijnana Maya. We all comes in the Vijnana Maya because we have started inquiring that who we are, right? Where the body you are into that stage, yeah? Vijnana Maya. We are the soul, right? The highest stage is an Ananda Maya, state of bliss in the knowledge of the truth, and hence one is serving the Lord. So you start Vijnana Maya, Ananda Maya, we are into that stage. So happiness is only there in the topmost stage, right? No other state is happiness, right? So law of, and the, here it is written that, in the bottommost Annamaya, life is only about food in this chest. Some get stuck in this level, some are, too much into eating like that, so they are always into Annamaya. Pranamaya, life is about securing one's life in this stage, right? Building a house, CCTV, material things. Jnanamaya, life is only about thoughts and perceptions. It is about what I feel. Everyone thinks differently, right? All those things, all material things are there. Calm, growth, dvesh, all everything is coming here. Vijnana, my life is only about Vishesha Jnana, that I am not the body, I am the soul in this stage, right? This is the stage, right? Then Anandamaya, life is only about blissful, serving the Lord. Krishna is this stage, right? Right? So we are in the Anandamaya. Life is only about blissful serving the Lord Krishna in this stage. Right? So this is, this is the stage. 13.67. The 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be field of activities and its interactions, right? So there are, basically 24 elements, right? 24 elements. Each one, we will go one by one to them. The 5 great elements are the earth, water, fire, and ether, right? The fall, then there are the three, the unmanifested, then there is the unmanifested. What is the unmanifested? Is the 3 modes of material nature, right? What are the 3 modes? The mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? And there is a subtle one, the false ego and the intelligence, right? The false ego, intelligence. Then there are 10 senses, right? 10 senses, what are those? 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 action doing senses, right? Jnanendriyas are the knowledge acquiring senses, and actions are karmendriyas, 5 actions, right? The, here at the right side, you have, I told you to remember this picture of the chariot. We are having the knowledge acquiring senses, right? Five knowledge acquiring through eyes, through nose, through ears, to tongue and through touch, right? The five knowledge acquiring. One knowledge acquires, and the senses, senses basically gratify through this, right? What are the five actions? We have the hands, right? We have the tongue to speak. We have the legs, right? And we have the genitals and anus, right? So these are the five action karma indriyas, right? Then the desire, hatred, then there comes the five sense objects. Then comes the desire, hatred, happiness, distress. Interactions of five great elements with the gross body, right? The life symptom, consciousness, and convictions. So here are the 24 elements, five gross elements we learned. Knowledge acquiring senses we saw there, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. Working senses are voice through tongue, right? Legs, hands, anus, and genitals. Objects of senses are form, smell, sound, touch, and taste, right? This is, we have some form, we have, objects of senses, we can smell, we can, make sound, we can touch, and we can taste, right? And there are subtle elements, the mind, intelligence, false ego, and the unmanifested all comes in three, which are the material modes of nature, right? The three modes of nature. So these are the 24 elements, right? All these are 24 elements. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interaction, right? So field of activities and its interaction is called 24. With this, the whole world is made. So how deep is that? So the how to knowledge, acquire the knowledge, this process will be discussed in Jnanam. So what is Jnanam, right? Here it will written. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self realization, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these are declared to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So, here the knowledge definition of the knowledge is being given by Krishna himself, right? From 13.8 to 12, it describes knowledge. What is knowledge? All these things are knowledge, right? Now, rest everything, whatever there is, it's all ignorance. So if we have someone is trying to acquire something, in the material kind of thing, that's all ignorance. We told that he is in Maya. That's why we say in Maya, one has humility, tiredness, non-violence, tolerance, empathy. This is all, bona fide spiritual, approaching the bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness. If one is not clean, he is in ignorance. One is not steady, he is in ignorance. One is not in self-control, he is in ignorance. Renunciation of, opposite to this and anything other than this is all ignorance. So this is what Krishna is telling here. Right, so basically summarize it or detail it, we can see here. Humility is not to be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored, right? Right, one must not be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored. There is honor, dishonor, one must not be, strive for it. Pridelessness, understanding you are not the body, and thus honor, dishonor are the same. So humility and pridelessness. Non-violence, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. So this is non-violence, right? If we are not, just having showing the affection is one thing, but not giving the spiritual knowledge, that is also practicing violence only. So what we have to do, that we have to, practice. We have practice non-violence. How to practice? That always through our acharan, be the example. Prabhupada tells, be the example for the spiritual journey. Because if you cannot convince someone, so try to at least, give some acharan to them. Because with the acharan itself, the general mass of public changes, right? The hippies were there. The Prabhupada used to follow all the, all the sadhana bhakti rules, regulative principles. Though he is not, it is not, it is, if he wanted, if he doesn't follows, then also it's okay. Because he's always remembering Krishna. So for him, it's not necessary to follow the rules and regulations. But, to show that, okay, this is the, this is, I am still following. That is the sign of a pure devotee, because one still follows, but one still follows because of affection to the Krishna, right? Because of affection to the Krishna. So that is the level, that is the level. So that is, one elevates to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence, unless, right? Tolerance is be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others, right? If someone insulting, okay, Prabhuji, Matari, you did this. I told you this and told you to do this, but you have not done it. This is a blessing. This is a blessing, and there is some dishonor in this. This is a blessing. It's not, it's not, so one should be tolerant, Simplicity is so straightforward that you can disclose the truth even to an enemy, right? Simplicity is this. Even enemy, you can tell, okay, this is the simplicity, right? This is the way. This is the thing, right? You straight away tell anything, right? Accepting a spiritual master. This is essential, right? This is very essential. One has to have spiritual master. Cleanness, bathing, and chanting, right? Externally, we need to bath. Internally, for the soul, we need to chant. Because our heart is not pure, then Krishna will not come into our heart, right? We want Krishna to, come into our heart. The Paramatma is there, but we want Krishna to come into our heart to sit, to have, so that we can have blissful chanting, right? So by that, for that, what we have to do, add positivity. What is positivity? Chanting the Hare Krishna, right? Mantra. So steadiness, Tharyam. Determined to make progress in spiritual mind. One should be steadiness, right? To make progress in spiritual mind. Life. So reject any self-control is reject anything unfavorable to spiritual advancement, right? Controlling the senses. We do the Ekadashi Vrata, right? Different, we don't, we follow four regulative principles. Various methods to control the senses are given in the scripture, so we do all that so that there is the self control. Renunciation of sense object, not to get unnecessary demands gratified only to keep body fit or for devotional service, right? We just need to just fit for the devotional service, not because one is having a sleep, basically one is having in the in the daytime, one is having a sleep, then one is basically in the ignorance. One must be try to eat less. If you eat less, then the sleep will be reduced. So unnecessary demand should not be catered, because we need to control the senses. Absence of false ego. Reject I am this body or mind, accept that I am Krishna's servant. We are eternal servitor of the Krishna. That is that is the presence of that should be there. That is the real ego, right? What is the false ego? That I am not the servant of Krishna, right? Perception of evil. Regularly hear about these from the proper source. Become disgusted with material life, right? Perceptions of evil, right? Because if you listen about the all these things, then there will not be enough fear about this. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudha darshanam. Right? Regularly hear about these from proper sources. If we hear from proper sources, then we know that what are these fourfold miseries. Detachment. Be ready to sacrifice everything for Krishna, right? That is detachment. No entanglement with wife, family, etc. Like Anavina Gau, Putra Dara, Gahadin. Should practice it if you can do it in a Krishna conscious way, but renounce if unfavorable for Krishna conscious. Right? Something is unfavorable, then one must. But because one is having responsibility, one does not do that. We should do it in Krishna consciousness. We should try that everyone, because firstly it is said that one needs to elevate people to the spiritual knowledge. So our family also comes in that, right? So unless and until we try to everyone in the family to try to elevate to the people of spirituality, then we are practicing non-violence. Else we are practicing violence. First to do that, if it's not, it's become unfavorable, it's become too much, then one should renounce it, right? Srila Prabhupada himself retired, went to the Vanprastha late. He didn't went right away in around 1954, like this. Maybe I'm wrong, but in the later ages, after having some child, after the later ages, then he went to the Vanaprastha ashram, right? He directly didn't went to the Vanaprastha ashram. So even-mindedness, not elated or distressed at material gain or loss by performing unbreakable devotional service. Unalloyed devotional service engages oneself in the nine processes of bhakti, right? What are the nine processes of bhakti? Hare Krishna. Can anyone tell?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Sakyam, Dasyam, Smaranam, Palisevanam, Archanam, Vandanam,
One more, Mataji. And Atmanivedanam, right? Hari Bol Mataji. One more, no? Atmanivedanam is totally, fully surrendered to the Lord, right? Atmanivedanam. The Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, right? Bali Maharaj did this. So these are the nine processes of bhakti. unalloyed devotional service, Ananya Bhakti, right? Aspiring to live in a solitary place, not desiring to mix with materialistic people, live in association of devotees, sadhu sangha. Detachment from general mass of people as above, right? General mass of people as is materialistic people. One must not be attached with them too much, right? Accepting the importance of self-realization, give up unnecessary sporting, cinema going, non-social activities, avoid wasting time, right? Because we know that what we are here for, we are, basically we are the gold brick, not we are not the paperweight, right? We are here for self-realization. So philosophical search, Tattva Gyanartha Darchanam. This is action of and useless research in philosophical topics. No use will be there at the end of your life, right? If you are remembering that who will be the next prime minister at the end of your life, what will happen? That's it. That's our not area to discuss, right? We are here for self-realization. You are here. You are listening. Or if you are thinking about Krishna, then your life is successful. So, game object of knowledge. Next topic is the object of knowledge. Who is the object of knowledge? Now, I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and is subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. So the nature, the enjoyer, and the conscious text 13 comes. Graham, the soul and the super soul are the real objects to be known. Right? So what are the benefits of knowing the knowable? Benefiting of knowing the knowable is one can release the nectar of life. Right? Ananda Brahma, super soul as the knowable of knower. Who are the Gneya, knowable? Vijnana Brahma. Living, the soul and the super soul are the real objects to be known. Right? So this is described in the 13.13. Living entity as the knowable. Vijnana Brahma, Ananda Brahma. Vijnana Brahma is living entity as the knowable. Soul. Ananda Brahma, super soul as the knowable and the knower. Right. So what is the, here comes, what is the super soul? सर्वतः पदम तत् सर्वतोषी शीशिरो मुखम सर्वथा श्रुति मल्लोके सर्वम अव्यक्त तिष्ठति. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. Right. So everywhere he is, right? Everywhere he is. 13.15 सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभाषम सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितम वशक्तम सर्वभक्षैवा निर्गुणम गुणभोक्तृ. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time he is the master of all modes of material nature. Krishna has transcended senses incomparable to our material senses, right? If he sees through the material, material nature, everything rejuvenates, everything comes into the life, right? This is the this is the status. With the eyes, with the eyes you can think, do things of the other four karmendriyas, right? The other four karmendriyas he can do with the eyes itself. So various, he can do anything with his any senses, any of the senses he can do anything. Brahma Samhita in 5.32. Anganiyasya Anganisasya Saklendriyavatimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujvala Vigrasya Govinda Madipurusham Tamham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the primeval, right? He is the prime, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. Right here, he is saying each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs. One, each every organ. The other organs, the whatever fulfillment can be there, whatever can be done by the organs, can be done by the eyes itself. He can speak with the eyes. It's not necessary to, he can, he has to speak with his mouth. He can speak with the eyes. And eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. The supreme truth exists both internally and externally, in the moving and non-moving. He is beyond the power of material sense to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. Right? Exists internally. How? Super soul. Externally, in the Prakriti. In the moving and the non-moving. He is, the moving he exists as the super soul. And non-moving also, every atom he is existing as a super soul. He is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know, right? He is very small. That the soul is 1 by 10,000 of the tip of the hair, right? This all is the soul. You can think of the super soul also. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. He is very far, right? He is very far. But still, he is, in our hearts, in every heart, you can say. Right? 13.7. Abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sitam bhutabhatra cha tadgeyam grashishnu prabha vishnu cha. It says, although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he devours and develops all. Right? Here is the picture. Here the picture is giving. First, soul is present in the aquatics. One is in the present in the grasslands and all. Then the fauna is there, then the flora is there, then there insects are there, then various animals are there, then birds are there, then then reptiles, birds, and then animals come, then finally humans come, right? So here 84 lakhs, 84 lakh species, and are comes, we dwell upon, we change our clothes from here to there, right? But he is not divided, right? So he is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. He is the knowledge himself. Jnanam. He is the object of knowledge. Jnanam. Is the goal of the knowledge. Jnanam. He is situated in everyone's heart. Right. Right. So Krishna here also Krishna. See the light. Whom you see, he is the all is the light in all luminescence. So every the child is writing something. Who is there? That is Krishna. And the light, he is the light, right? Everywhere is Krishna. Text 18. Super soul is source of all knowledge and enlightenment, right? He is situated in everyone's heart. He is knowledge, object of knowledge, and goal of the knowledge. Super soul is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested, right? And the super soul is source of light in all luminous objects. These are the attributes of super souls. He is all pervading inside and outside of living entities, origin of the senses, but has no senses, right? Has spiritual senses, supreme person, source of all senses, a living entity. He is undivided, right? He resides in heart of all. There is no difference between the Shirodakshay, Vishnu, and the Supreme, right? Because he is, undivided. So it's a fragment of him, right? It's equivalent. 13.19. Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. Right? So, two birds analogy is there. On the bird, there are two birds basically. One is the Paramatma bird, one is the our bird. One bird, which are us. What is it is doing? It is taking the fruits. It is not listening to the Paramatma. It is detached from the Paramatma, right? So sometimes we are tasting sweet fruits of our actions, sometimes bitter fruits. So these are the fruits that has come. Now we are just tasting it. The reactions are coming at us. This. There is. The all the sukh, dukh, yash, apyash, honor and dishonor. Yeah, good and bad things, happiness and distress, all comes automatically. You don't have to, don't have to do, some action for it, because your actions are already being done. The reactions are there. The further actions, whatever doing, are the next karmas, right? So one has to only, have patience, right? The Lord watches unattached, waiting for us to return to him, right? One, it is seeing to the fruits, but the Lord is waiting. Please see me. Please see me. I am right here besides you. This shows the Lord's intense patience and love. It is, the Shirodaksha Vishnu is every time present, right? Every time present. In all forms, every time present, always waiting. All the bad things are also going there, but he is waiting. Now he will be, turn to me. Now he will turn to me. Now he will have the consciousness, right? So qualification to understand the Kshetra, Kshetragna, Jnana and Jnana. What is the qualification? Fully understood by the devotees. Mad Bhakta, right? It is understood by the Mad Bhakta. Kshetra, field of activities. Kshetra Agnya, knower of the field. That is soul and super soul. What is Jnana? Knowledge and the process of acquiring knowledge. Gnayam, object of knowledge. So what is here? The knowledge given. Knowledge means understanding oneself in Krishna consciousness and realizing Krishna is everything. Right? We have to realize that we are the eternal servitor. Knowledge is nothing but preliminary stage of understanding devotion service perfectly. Right? If we understand that we are eternal servitor, what we will do first thing? We will try to serve the Lord. That is the knowledge, right? If you get the knowledge and you don't start devotional service and you don't start, pleasing the Lord, and you don't start worshiping the Lord, or you don't start whatever the Lord has told, so that he is pleased, or you don't start serving his lotus feet, then what is the, what is the, what is their knowledge? You have not acquired knowledge. You have just seen knowledge. Just seen. You just seen. We have just seen. Okay, this is the knowledge. That's it, but we have not acquired knowledge. Acquiring knowledge, if one acquires knowledge, he starts doing something for it, right? So Vijnana is knower, knowable, and process of knowing is called the science of knowledge or Vijnana. So the conclusion is the soul actually, the soul and super soul as the knowable, and super soul is the ultimate object to be known, right? The Paramatma, ultimate object to be known, right? So what is the life lesson we get out of it? Is that I am the body, and it's so frustrating, right? If we get, if we get that I am the body, so you will be frustrated because the demands of the body will never, will never finish. It will never finish, right? If you start, if you start giving your child anything he wants, you start giving, you give to the end of the line, still he will say, I am not satisfied, right? One has to give spiritual knowledge. I am the one. If you say that you are the soul, then that is, he will be satisfied. So if you start the Hare Krishna and start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that will be fed to the soul, right? I am the soul, servant of all powerful Lord, and it's really liberating. Rather than trying to be controller, let's give our controls to Krishna. If you totally surrender to Krishna, then he will take the control. He's sitting as the bird. He's saying that let me take the control, right? That will give real happiness. Because rest things he will take care. The basic necessities of life, everything will be taken care by him. It's not because he is taking care, right? Because when the heavy storm and heavy rains are there, and if you pick up a brick, then there is, all the insects are there in the, at the bottom of the brick. They are also surviving. So all the basic necessities will be provided by him only. We don't have to work for it, right? That much. So who is the real enjoyer? Qualities of Jiva, right? Who is the real enjoyer? We will know this: the qualities of the Jiva, the qualities of the material nature, qualities of the super soul, and how to reach perfection, right? The Krishna answers questions 1 and 2, Prakriti Purusha and their union in 13.20 to 26, right? Qualities of the Jiva will answer, and the qualities of the material nature. What is the Prakriti? What is the, qualities of Jiva and the union. So qualities of the jiva, it is beginningless, right? It is beginningless. It is ignorant of own reality, right? It is beginningless, ignorant of own reality. Identifies with the body, right? If jiva, what does it do? The soul, what does it do? It identifies it with the body, right? Desires to enjoy this material world, right? Because we have the desire, soul has the desire to lord over the material nature. That's why we are here. Repeatedly moves from one body to another, right? Always changing the clothes. Misuse of minute free will, right? We have a minute free will, right? Everything has been sanctioned by the Lord, and the blade of the cross even will not move if there is not if that is not the will of the Lord, right? So there is the minute, minute free will, right? That is a minute because everything has been sanctioned by the Lord Himself. So qualities of material nature, beginningless. What is the quality of material nature? It is beginningless. That is also because the nature, the nature, it's the energy of the Krishna only, right? So what are its? It is also beginningless. It is existed, the matter existed before, now, and afterwards also. So provides residential quarters to the Jiva. We are provided, this hospital is being provided to the Jiva. Okay, come here. The correction, the jail is there. We are here for the correctional facility, right? The correctional facility is there. Try to, revive yourself. Try to realize. Controls Jiva through three modes, right? The three modes are there. The jailer is there in the jail. What does it do? It controls how it controls with the various, with the various policemen in there. What is the policeman? The mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? The ignorance person try to sleep more. The passionate person try to work more. The mode of goodness person try to acknowledge knowledge, right? But all are in the control of the jiva, control of the three modes, right? The jiva is controlled, but one has to get out of it. One has to be transcendental to these three modes. Temporary manifestation is there, right? Temporary manifestation, it comes and goes. Brahma, every day, in the everyday, he makes the earth and he destroys it. So every day the material nature is made and it is destroyed at the end, right? So keeps transforming, right? It keeps transforming. So again and again, the matter defeats me. And am I investing my love at the wrong place? We need to think about it, right? Am I going for the material happiness or am I going for the spiritual happiness? You have to realize it, right? So trans qualities of the super soul, what are its qualities? It is a transcendental enjoyer. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram, right? Suhadam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati. So he is the Bhoktaram Yagasana. Everything belongs to him, right? He is the proprietor, right? He is the enjoyer, right? He is the ultimate enjoyer. So he is the well-wisher, Sudam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the well-wisher of all the living entities, right? Those who knows this will not, will be not stuck up in the pangs of material miseries, right? So he is the proprietor, he is the witness, he is the permitter, right? Updashtanumantacha, right? This shloka we will learn. Please note, Krishna is watching, right? Krishna is watching you always. He is aware of our most private thoughts and intentions, right? If you are, you are doing something, but the intentions are bad, he is aware. He is the super soul. Whatever intentions are having, whatever he knows everything. He knows the intentions of the Arjuna, right? That's why everything is controlled, everything is controlled by him. We cannot hide anything from him. You can hide anything from anyone, but from Krishna we cannot hide anything. He knows at the heart what our heart's desire is, right? So we need to always serve the Lord. He will know our bottommost desire. If Prahlad Maharaj says in the Bhagavatam, the seventh canto, that if one is able to please Krishna, then nothing is like that, because he will fulfill you at the bottom core of your heart, and he will fulfill the wishes of the bottom core of your heart. That is Krishna, right? But we just need to please Krishna. Why? How we will please? That we become dear to. How we become dear to him? We follow his rules and regulation. We love him basically. We become the eternal servitor. Then he becomes, right. So it's not only Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyaniti Ubhavapi Vikaraksham Gunasheva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. It is not only our body that keeps changing, our consciousness level is also changing in different bodies, right? We saw the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, right? It is also changing, right? In the in the animal propensity, we are in the Annamaya and Pranamaya. That's it. That is the only consciousness we will get in the animal life, right? We can't have the Jnanamaya. We can't have the Vijnanamaya. We can't definitely have the Anandamaya, right? We can't have, right? These three Maya with these three consciousness, we won't get there, right? So the material nature and living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformation and the modes of matter are products of material nature. कार्यकरण कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृति उच्यते पुरुष सुख दुःखानां मुक्तत्वे हेतु उच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, right? Nature, the prakriti, is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, right? Whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Whatever sufferings and enjoyments we are doing like for them because we are doing involved through our karmas, right? The cause of various suffering and enjoyment in this world is the living entity, right? And the nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, right? Whatever body we are getting, it is because of our engagement in the various sufferings and enjoyment, right? Due to our karmas. 13.22 पुरुषा प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृति जान गुणान कारणम गुण संगोस्या सद्दशद्योनि जन्मासु. Now you will say that why there are so bad things happening around the world. Why the bad things happens around the world? So here is the answer. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature, right? We are doing because the enjoyment of the three modes of nature, right? It is allowing us, right? The three modes of nature is doing basically, right? This is due to his association with that material nature, right? Right? Because prakriti kriya manani gune karmani sarvasaha. Gune karmani sarvasaha, right? The actually who is doing the three modes of material nature. So this is due to the association with that material nature. Whatever bad, good you are doing, it is because of that, right? Thus he meets with good and evil amongst various species, right? So various species are just following due to these three modes of material nature. They are bound by their material nature through which the good and bad things are being happened. Is there anything being done by the Lord? No. The desire is ours. The material modes of nature are basically, doing as per our desires. This is being done that. So be careful with whom you associate, right? So it is necessary what the person's consciousness is, at what stage its consciousness is. So because of association, we are constantly taking different bodies, right? Whatever consciousness we are having, if you are having, animal consciousness, you are trying, too much sleeping, too much eating, whatever animal consciousness you see around you, you can, you see that practically, you see that logically. You will realize that, okay, is this a material, it is this a spiritual consciousness, or is this a animal consciousness? If you think that, if you see that, okay, this is being done, eating, sleeping, mating, different, this is done by the animals also, and you are also doing the same thing, then what is the difference? So that is, that is the animal consciousness. Basically, we are preparing for the next life, right? We are preparing for the next consciousness, whatever consciousness we develop in this life, whatever preparation you do, the next consciousness you will get. So be careful, right? Be careful with that. One has to be very careful with that. 13.2 Bija Vakya for last 6 chapters, right? Right, he is the bija, right? He is the bija, nature and your conscience, he is the bija, right? He is the bija. From here, variously, he comes and go and changing the clothes. Deonosmin yatha dehe komaram yomaram tera tatha dehantar bhaptir, right? Tatha dehantar bhaptir. Various changing the clothes. 13.3 उपदष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरा परमात्मेति चाप्यक्तो देहेस्मिन् पुरुषा para. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and the permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Right here he is saying उपदष्टानुमन्ता cha. He is the overseer, Paramatmeti, right? Paramatmeti, who exists as overseer and the permitter. He is the, Bharta Bhokta, he is the transcendental enjoyer, he is Maheshwara, he is the supreme proprietor, right? Who exists as the overseer and permitter. He is the overseer, he is looking after everything. Okay, he is Shirudaksha Vishnu, right? He is looking after everything. The three modes of material nature is trying to, do the job that is as per desire of the soul. Yeah. So here is the thing that he is, here Krishna is clarifying who is there, to be Sakshi of all these things, right? He's saying that there is in this, then that in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, super soul. He reveals this. 13.24 या एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणे सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Whatever his position he has here, so again and again, Krishna is giving you surety, and every chapter he gives some form of surety to you, that what you do, that so that you are basically not take birth here again, right? So he who understands the philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, the prakriti, right? And the living entity is the jiva, and then interaction of the modes of nature, right? The modes of nature, unmanifested, is sure to attain liberation. So what here we are doing here. One is trying to understand the philosophy between these material nature, living entity, interaction of modes of nature, right? So if we know someone that who is doing, he will be satisfied, right? Gunai karmani sarvasa. It is being done by the three modes of nature. Someone is insulting you. Who is doing that? The three modes of material nature is doing that. You don't have to worry about that, right? It's not being done by that person. The soul doesn't want that to do, right? The three modes of nature, that's what the desire. Someone is doing that. Someone insulting you. Someone throwing a stone at you. Who is doing that? The three modes of material nature. The God is doing that. No one. Can't blame the God for it, right? The karmas are there. The reactions are there. Some perceive, right? Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through cultivation. Now he is saying the process of knowledge, right? Some perceive the super soul. The interaction between the Purusha and Prakriti is being told. Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation. To Jnana Yoga, right? Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga. Others through cultivation of knowledge, to Jnana Yoga. Right? First perceive to Dhyan Yoga, or either you perceive Jnana Yoga, and still others through working without fruitive desire, through Karma Yoga. Right? These three are the basically things who try to perceive the super soul. Some perceive, right? He is saying some perceive. Some are like from the Dhyan Yoga, some from the Jnana Yoga, some from the Karma Yoga. Text 25. Understanding through various types of yogas, right? So Lord explains two classes of conditioned souls, right? One is the faithful in spiritual life. What they do Dhyana yoga, perceive the super soul through meditation, or they do the Sankhya yoga, the Jnana yoga, the others through the cultivation of knowledge. We learned that. And there is this Karma yoga, still others through working without fruitive desires, right? Other conditions told what they do, they are the atheists, right? Agnostics and skeptics are beyond the sense of spiritual understanding, right? They are basically dushkitanas, right? The atheists. It also includes those who establish the doctrine of monism. Mayavadi philosophy is what? That there is only one, everything is everything is one. I am God. Aham brahmasmi, I am God, everything is one. If you are into that, then that is basically monism, right? So it is all coming into the mayavadi. Atheist not accepting the God, or accepting God as himself, or only one. And that is also monism, right? So devotees of the Lord are best situated in spiritual understanding, right? Because they know there is supreme personality godhead, they know there is the prakriti, right? All are prakriti, only one is purusha. They know that everything is conducted by the material modes of nature. They know that they have this spiritual understanding. So because they know that beyond the material nature are spiritual world and supreme personality godhead who expands as Paramatma, right? Because that's why they are best situated as spiritual understanding, right? They know everything. So hearing is the easiest way of gaining Krishna consciousness, right? Shravanam, right? Here also the mother is listening to the Kapila Muni, right? Because mother is listening to his own son, because he knows that gaining, hearing the Krishna consciousness is the only thing to get liberated, right, from this world, and attain the love of Krishna, right? So gaining Krishna consciousness, experiential learning is for anyone, right? For example, you don't accept this all, right? What you will do, you will go to the YouTube, you will go to the various organization, then you will say, okay, I will do that, okay, I will do that. But if one does not do that also, he will say that, okay, I believe on only, trying the thing and then happening. But if you try to do that, what happens if you are having 100 years of life? Then how much experience will you get? All the experience? No, that's not sure, right? Will you get all the experiences? No, that is not sure. Secondly, if someone has practiced this thing and is telling you, I have practiced this, okay, at this stage you have achieved, till this stage it is done that, right? For example, you have to make, some chemical you have to make, right? Either you go hit and try, you try to invent a bulb right now, at this time, without having any, getting the knowledge. You will again do that 999 times, and at the 1,000th time you will get that. But if you go that who has invented the bulb, what is the process, then it makes easy, right? That is a makes easy. So you go to the shastras, you listen to the your spiritual master. He says that, okay, I have done this, okay, this is being already done. You don't have to waste time in that. This is the knowledge, this is the knowledge, this is the process, this is the goal. And you are whatever you are trying, basically you are trying to get happy. So everything is there, then one is basically stupid, or basically trying to fool himself to getting that I will basically experience, and then I will attain it. So that is a foolish philosophy, right? Because everything is available now, because why you are trying the experiential learning? That is for animals, right? They learn with the experiment, right? And for people with lower intelligence, just listen to the learned, listening to the discourses on scriptures is needed, right? All that needs to be known is there, right? Already everything is written, already all the experiment that you want to do already has been done, right? Already has been done. All the meditation, all the jnana yoga, dhyana yoga cultivation, all that is there. That is being mentioned in the manual is already there. You have been given basically all the door is basically the Vaikuntha doors are there, and you are sitting at the door, but you are not opening it. Then what is the use of it, right? Then it is disadvantageous position. We are using our human life as animal life. So again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the supreme person upon hearing about him from others, right? One is not conversant spiritual, right? Us. We are not conversant in spiritual knowledge. Begin to worship Supreme Person upon hearing about Him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from the authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Right? One has to choose that you listen from a proper bona fide spiritual master in a proper parampara, proper dyslexic succession. What will happen then? You will transcend the path of birth and death. So here the Jnana Chakshu will open. The Jnana Chakshu. What is the Jnana Chakshu? How to acquire Jnana Chakshu and the destination, right? By studying this chapter, right? How to acquire Jnana Chakshu? By gaining knowledge about what is the super soul. Super soul is equally disposed. As the body is different from self, right? The soul, what is, material activities, all material activities are performed by the body, right? The body is being performed, the prakriti, the control over the mind and senses. This is the knowledge, right? This is the knowledge. Have control over, easy, how to control mind and senses, engage in the service of the Lord. How to do that? Start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's why it is recommended you start chanting at least. If you, even if you start reading, but you don't start chanting, then that will not benefit, because, I will give you a practical example. If you go to the Delhi and, all are preparing for the IS and all exams and, and rollback you go, then they recommend, if someone goes to the interview, they recommend that at least read once Gita, then go for the interview, and it will be good for you. Good, fine. But if you read Gita, but you don't start, engaging in service of the Lord by starting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then it is of no use. It is of use of, definitely there is some, some punya is coming from there. Then why, so many officers and all are corrupt, right? Why so many officers are corrupt? Because the process is not acquired. The process of, engaging in the service of the Lord, starting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not there. If one starts that also, then there will be a big transformation. That's why Srila Prabhupada wants everyone to have Krishna consciousness. You do your activity, you do whatever activity at you are at place you are in, but you start Hare Krishna chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you do that, the transformation will start. 13.27 याव संजयते किंचेत् सत्वं स्पार्वा जंगमं शेतशैतज्ञ संयोगा तद्विधि भरतर्षभा. O chief of Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field, right? Whatever you see in existence, both moving and non-moving, is only a combination of field of activities and knower of the field. What is the combination of the field of activities? The body, right? The body is there, right? And the knower of the field is the soul and the super soul, right? Text 27. Spiritually realized person can distinguish between spirit, matter in all circumstances. Right? What is the spirit? What is matter? That is knowledge, right? So he can describe. So whatever is in existence, only a combination of field of activities and the knower of the field. And everything is the combination of just the field, kshetra, and the kshetrajna. Right? सम सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन् परमेश्वरं विश्यतस्व विनिश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति. One who sees the super soul accompanying that individual soul in all bodies and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed actually sees. He only sees, right? He only sees, right? Super soul is accompanying every individual soul's in body. Understand that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed. He knows na hanyate na hanyamane sharire, right? That is the characteristics of the soul. It is not destroyed. समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समस्थितं ईश्वरं न हि नश्ति आत्मनात्मनं ततो याति परां गतिम्. He who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living entity does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus, he approaches the transcendental destination, right? He sees that super soul is everywhere. It is in the elephant, it is in the cow, it is in the tree, it is in every living being, it is in the dog, right? Does not degrade himself by his mind, right? He will not think, Samadarshana Pandita. Everything, he sees everything with equal vision. That is why. So he does not degrade himself by his mind. Does not, go for the sense contemplation, right? Everything he sees is having Paramatma. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. He knows everything is Paramatma, right? Everything is Paramatma. So ultimate goal is Paramatma only. So the actual seer does not degrade himself by pursuing the selfish desires of the mind. He is, he is not into that. So what is the current situation of the living entity? One has situated himself differently than in the spiritual world. We are spiritual beings, and having a material body. We are basically spiritual beings having material body, and we are too much conditioned that we are thinking that material thing is the only thing, but it's the otherwise, right? So what is the role of the mind? When the mind turns to the super soul, one becomes advanced, right? Because it is having, thinking, feeling, and willing. Three things the mind does: thinking, feeling, and willing, right? So if you're thinking, and feeling, and thinking and feeling and willing about the Krishna only, what will happen? You will turn to the super soul, right? One becomes advanced. Then one approaches the transcendental destination, right? Actual see Paramatma. Right, because so why, basically what is happening, you can see a beautiful picture that there is this soul which is driver of this body, and behind that the super soul is there, right? It is also watching. So one who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that self does nothing, actually sees, right? Who is being performing? Everything is performed by the three modes of material nature, which is created of material nature, right? And sees that the self does nothing. One is not doing nothing. Rather, the three modes of material nature is doing that. So who is responsible? Our desires are responsible because material nature is acting because as per our desires. It is not acting because of himself, because of itself. The desires are there of the, desires of there of the, the body is having, the soul is having some desire. The soul is having some desire. The material nature is just carrying it out, right? So who is responsible? The desires are being responsible, right? So when a sensible man ceases to see different entities due to different material bodies and sees how beings are expanded everywhere, it attains to the Brahman conception. यदा भूत पृथक भवाम एकस्थम अनुपश्यति तथा एव च विस्तराम ब्रह्म संपद्यते तदा. Right? He sees to see different bodies due to different material bodies and sees how beings are expanded over here. He attains the Brahman conception. So actual sphere, vision of actual sphere is all the activities are performed by the body, which is created by material, the material modes of nature. The self does nothing. Right? This is the actual sphere. When does he attain Brahman conception? He sees when does he purified consciousness can thus develop Krishna consciousness. Right? One has to purify. How one has to purify? Through Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What it will happen then? Then he ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies. Right, the body is different because of difference in their karma. Whatever the good phase is having, bad phase is having, or he is rich or he is poor, all are the material effects. These are all the material effects. It's not, transcendental or that not, these are all material prakritic things are there. It is all there. So he sees how beings are expanded everywhere. Thus absence of any material differentiation because of the different bodies. 13.32 अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मयम् अव्ययः शरीरास्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते. Those with the vision of eternity can see that imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. The soul is not entangled, right? Here he is saying the soul is not entangled. Rather, it is, basically the body, the body you are getting, it is getting, contact with the material body. The soul is basically not getting entangled with it. It is just desiring, right? A living entity appears to be born because of the sorry appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of his being situated in material body, he is transcendent, eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed by nature. He is full of bliss. Right? Satchidanand. The quality of the soul is Satchidanand. Na hanyate hanyamane shari. Na jayate mayate va kadachin. Nayam bhuta bhavitana bhuya. Ajo nityo shashvato yam purano. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Right? It is, it is not, it was present before, it is present now, it is present afterwards also. It is Ajo, Ajanma, Nitya, eternal, right? Shashvato, right? It is, it is not temporary, right? Shashvato, Yam Purano, right? It is primeval, it's the old, right? So like this is, characteristics of the soul. So it is transcendental, eternal, right? That he cannot be destroyed, right? So by nature he is full of bliss. By nature of the soul, it is full of bliss. That's Chidanand, right? The nature of the soul is that. 13.33 The yata sarva gatam soksmyad aksham nopaliyate sarvatra vasthito dehe tathatma nopalipyate. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body, right? So the air enters into the water, mud, stool, and whatever else. Right? Analogy is being given here, right? The example of the sky is giving the same example of, the same example of the, So here, the analogy is being given here, right? That the sky, right? The how the sky it's not mixing with anything, right? It's all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body. It's not getting mixed with the body, right? So those situated in the body, right? It is always in the heart, right? Similarly, the one more example is given of the air. The air enters into the water, mud, stool, whatever else is there, right? Air is everywhere, right? Still, it does not mix with anything. You can't carry the air, right, with it, right? It is already everything. It is not getting mixed with it, right? Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in varieties of bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the material eyes how the living entity is in contact with this body and how he is out of it after the dissection of the body. No one in science can ascertain this, right? Right. So how you can any in any in any science can tell that how the how the atma is how the soul is basically coming into the heart when the heart starts. The science is not able to judge that how this heart is formed and how the heart is started, at what point of time the heart gets started. No one knows it. No one knows it. The body gets made, but how the in the embryo the heart gets started, no one knows, because the soul is entering. The basically, if soul is not there, then it is nothing, just a mass. That's just the prakriti, right? That's just the matter. The five elements are there. The soul is not entered there. The subtle body is not entered there, right? Unless and until it enters there, the matter will not get activated, right? Unless and until super soul doesn't come there, and it will not get activated. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body of by consciousness. Right? So how we can see that, how the example is it is giving that how we can feel the soul by consciousness. We're conscious, right? As the sun alone illuminates all this universe, right? Sun is illuminating everywhere, right? So does the eliminate. So the living entity is also illuminating body, right? How? By entire body by the consciousness. Soul is illuminating through consciousness, right? We can see the effects of soul. How? Through consciousness. One who knowingly sees this difference between the body and the owner of the body and can understand the process of liberation from this bondage also attains to the supreme goal, right? What is the destination? To know, to know Krishna, right? To know Krishna. Ultimate destination is the to know Krishna, to be with the Krishna, to have, become the eternal servitor of Krishna, right? To do the devotional service of the Krishna. So that is the right. So how to know that? Janma karma chami divyam, right? By knowing his activities in and his appearance. So here we come to the summary. We are into the chapter of 13. We learned 6 things today, and around 6 questions were there, in which the Kshetra, Kshetragna questions were asked. Purusha, Prakriti, right? Jnanam and Gayam. Etad Viditum Ichchami, right? Description of the Kshetra and Kshetragna, the body and the knower of the body and the knowledge. The Kshetragna Chapi Mamudi. We learned that. And what is the acquiring process of acquiring knowledge? And the other ones, how they acquire karma yoga, sankhya yoga, then the dhyana yoga. How we acquire? We acquire through devotion service, right? Maichanana yogena. Graham object of knowledge. Object of knowledge, sarvata pani padam. That prakriti purusha and union, karanam guna sangosya, right? The relation between the prakriti, purusha, and between the union of them, then we saw. What is the vision of the knowledge? Kshetra Shegnagno Eva Mantaram Dhyana Chakshuksha. The Dhyana Chakshu, the vision of the knowledge, is to attain the Krishna. Right? 13.35 verse, one verse, a chapter summary. See, what is the chapter summary? The difference between the body and knower of the body, right? If one's, what is the knowledge? To have knowing that difference between the body and the knower body. And the process and the object of knowledge, the process of liberation from the bondage in material nature is the, attaining the supreme goal, right? And what one has to do? One has to do seeing the eyes of the knowledge, right? Jnana Chakshu is seeing everyone with the one knowledge that everyone, everywhere, the supreme soul is there. So what we get the lesson out of it? Positive engagement. Easier, simple, and definitely better than artificial controls. What are the artificial controls? The breathing techniques and all, different kinds of yoga we discussed in the Dhyana yoga part. All those are the artificial controls, right? What we have to do? Positive engagement. The negativity when one cannot, roll out in the Kali Yuga. So what we do? We induce positive engagements. Right. So here are the 6 questions. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Shedna, Jnanam, and Gayam. Krishna's answers to 3, 4, and then a field of activities knower of the field. And Krishna Pada answers the question by the process of knowledge liberation, object of knowledge, and in answers to 1 and 2, Prakriti, Purusha, and union, and then Gyan Chakshu, the vision of knowledge. Right here we see the summary. First part comes, my sixth question, body, soul, and super soul. Second part comes the knowledge and how to gain it. Other, with the, what are the qualities, humility, non-violence, self-control, tolerance, accepting bona fide spiritual master, most important quality is the constant and unalloyed devotion, right? Essential quality is accepting bona fide. One must have a spiritual master. That is the must, right? Because you will then, basically, Arjuna was having Dronacharya, right? That's why he was attained to, try become the best, archer. So one is, it's necessary a bona fide spiritual master because you have a goal. Now someone has achieved the goal, will only try, only can tell how to achieve that goal. We want to go through some exam, you go to that some class, some teacher, right? They guide you. You go to some friend, he guide you, right? So he becomes a, your spiritual master, your basically master. So we need for the spiritualities bona fide spiritual master. And most important quality what one should have, even if you are not other qualities, constant and loyal devotion. Everything will come around. Humility, non-violence, self-control, everything will come around if you are doing devotion service, have constant and loyal devotion. Then we know what the soul and the super soul. What are the attributes of soul? That is eternal, subordinate to Krishna, it belongs to spiritual soul. Attributes of super soul is all pervading, its origin of the senses, it's undivided, resides in hearts of all. It is everywhere, right? Then we learn about the enjoyer. Who is the enjoyer? The Purusha, the qualities of the Jiva, the qualities of material nature, how to reach perfection, and the qualities of the super soul. Then we have the Jnana Chakshu, the destination, the Krishna. Right? How to acquire the Jnana Chakshu? By Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We need to do that. So progression, how this will convert to the chapter 14. First, it is explained all the 6 questions, right? That the living entity Purusha is entangled in material nature. Everything is done by the material nature due to his desire for it. So basically, desire is the issue. So now in chapter 4, Krishna continues this explanation. What these three modes of material nature are, how they work. Now he will tell in the Patinja how they work, how they bind the jiva, right? How they are binding, how they can be destroyed by Krishna Bhakti, right? So three modes of how and what to extend does it mind, modes of impact, and then the way to overcome the modes. Yes, Krishna Bhakti. Okay, we'll end here. Hare Krishna. Any questions today? It is a tough chapter. Yes, it's a good chapter. Basics. This is all the knowledge, and this is the Jnana part. This is the Jnana Bhakti. Basically Jnana Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What
Hare
I
Krishna.
wanted to know is what about those entities who do not do any bhakti in their life and who are not familiar with Lord Krishna at all? उनका क्या होता है? What happens to them when they leave this body and they go?
Matari, we discussed as that whatever we are doing, we are just preparing for our next life. Whatever we are doing bhakti or what we are not doing bhakti, basically it's all our consciousness, right? The consciousness is developing. So are we trying to become a animal consciousness or are we trying to become Krishna consciousness? Because it is necessary to mention Krishna consciousness, not God consciousness. Because if that was the case, Srila Prabhupada would have told that, okay, ISKCON society, International Society of God Consciousness. No, that I know that Krishna is the only supreme personality of Godhead, right? So he knew that, okay, one has to become Krishna consciousness. So one has preparing basically Krishna consciousness. If one is not preparing, you know that the answer that the material nature, the karmas, and the birth and death cycle will repeat.
Will
That will be the
continue. Huh?
case, Mataji.
Mhm.
We have to, these scriptures are facts. One should have no doubt, not a single doubt in that it is lie. One should have full faith because it's truth. It's the fact. It is not like it might be done. Never Veda says like that. That okay, it may be there. Krishna is never saying that it may be there. It might be there. No, he is saying as it is. What because he's Krishna. He's God. Supreme Personality Godhead. He is saying that this is there. He is assuring again and again that do this. Will come to me. You will never come to this life, this birth and death cycle again. He is again and again saying this. He is
Yeah.
saying it for a
Uh,
purpose.
yeah, but what I'm saying, what I was trying to point is that we are lucky. Like we by some reference, like I just came to know कि यहाँ पे गीता हो रही थी. We are coming closer to Lord Krishna.
Yes,
But there are
Mataji.
so many who are not so lucky.
Yes, Mataji. Because you are thinking like this, you are a basically Vaishnava. You are having a mercy on others that why they are not thinking. You will have, this is the quality of a Vaishnava, Mataji. That you are thinking about others also. That we are lucky, but we want that this knowledge, quality should be known to everyone. This is the quality. That's why we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, that is exactly what I was saying.
Yes, Mataji. Because this is the mercy of the Lord. It's because we are doing any round of chanting or any round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra we are doing. It's not because of us, Mataji. We have just desired the material modes of nature doing. Now Krishna is doing because it's the Lord's mercy and the Guru's mercy. That's why we are able to chant Mataji. It's not because of
Oh,
us. We are not the doer in that. Even in the chanting also, we are not the doer. It's not our capability to do that. So this is the status of us,
oh,
Mataji. So we are having just mercy. This is the mercy of the Lord.
oh,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
mercy.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else with the questions? Okay, tomorrow we will not be having class due to Diwali. Happy
Hmm.
Deepavali to everyone.
Happy
And
Diwali.
Happy Diwali, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhasya कृपासिन्धुभ्येव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद